All right, welcome back. I think the best way for this video to live up to the title is to tell you a story. I was at an event recently where they had a speaker, an interpreter. It's a community college. So think of orientation, think of students, think of classes. Okay, you got to get that in your head. You've got to know the situation you're going to interpret so that your brain thinks of the right vocabulary, the right construct that's going to go on. Okay, here we go. So the speaker says this. All right, we would like to invite all those who are already registered, come on up, and if there's any room, we'll invite some more. Now, I need you to try and sign that. If you're already registered, please come on up, and if there's room, we'll invite some more. How did you sign it? Now, this interpreter signing room chose room. Now, I'm not going to get into a debate as is this room or is this room, okay? Is there room? Was that the right sign? Did that match the context? Is that what the speaker intended? The answer is no. What would you have signed for room? Because in this case, room means emptiness, space, availability. That's this sign here. Think of the number 25, if you know your numbers. 25, left to right, room. If there's availability, we'll invite some more students up. Wow, that's tough. Because here's what you've got to do as an ASL interpreter. You heard a word, your brain is now parsing through all the signs that you know. What's the right sign that fits not only the word, but the intent? The situation, the condition, what all is going on, it wasn't this. That's a location, that's a place, that's four walls. It was this. Is there availability? Right? Now, while that process is going on, guess what? You're also hearing more words coming in that you're going to have to also faithfully communicate. I'm not sure there's a tougher skill for ASL interpreters to be able to do that. It comes in, you generate, but guess what? More is still coming in. Wow, that's hard. So how do you get good at that? How do you hear the word, sign it with the right sign, accurate, faithful, while still getting more in? Let's have some practice sentences, okay? I'm going to give you some practice sentences with one word, two signs. Okay, how do you pick the right sign? So let's have a little fun. We'll do that practice, and at the end, I'm going to give you one that you can do on your own, and we'll see what kind of feedback we get. Okay, here's our first one. Train engineers require annual training. Okay, kind of a softball for you, all right? How would you sign train engineers? Train, okay, choo-choo, okay. Train engineers, this is measure, engineer, okay? So train engineers require what? Annual, okay? If you know day, month, year, this is a sign for every year on a regular basis. Annual what? Annual training. Training. Train, locomotive. Train, the skill to learn to train. All right, how'd you do on that one? All right, let's move on to our next sentence. Okay, here's one. Let me just give you the words. Left. If you heard the word left from a speaker, why would you sign it? We have left, okay, the direction, left and right, okay, left. You might also think of the sign this way, turn left. What about, did you leave something? Oh, I left my keys. Oh, I left. Both hands, slightly curved, left. I left my keys. Left. How about you left me? You left me 4-4. That's a whole different video. 4-4. Why? Why did you leave me left? Why was I left? Okay. There's 3 words for that one. Okay. 3 signs for that one word. Let's try another one. Hey, I would love to go to the park. Okay, well, okay, that's great, but where will we park? Now, how would you assign park the green space? Picnic, baseball, a pond for fishing. What is that kind of park? Okay, we've got this facility. Okay. What did I just sign? This space, I'm now going to describe the space. They're swinging, we'll play there. Okay, and then somebody else might say, hey, wait a minute, but where do we park? Okay, park. So we have parked my vehicle, okay, near the park, but it's not the same thing. All right, again, one word, two signs. How'd you do? Okay, how about where there's the sound is the same? And this is the challenge for ASL interpreters. Like we start out with room. You hear room, and boom, you just think room. Okay? Sometimes you've got to hold the thought in your mind to hear the rest of the sentence after the word. So now you know what that meant. So in the case where our opening example, all right, if there's room, we'll admit some more. So I've got to slow it down a little bit. And again, this is the great challenge for ASL interpreters. You're holding that sentence in your head. Okay, where am I? What are we talking about? What were the previous few sentences? That helps you select the right sign out of your very substantial vocabulary. Okay, room. Now how about another example where there are two words that sound the same? Here we go, meet. Oh man, I'm happy to meet you. Happy to meet. Meet. Okay? So when we meet, guess what? I'll give you your meat. Do you see that? Meat is signed, fingers open, non-dominant hand. I'm going to pinch this little fleshy portion here between my index finger and my thumb. Meat. Okay, hey. When we meet, I'll give you your meat. That was almost too wild an example. So how does this happen? You're going to meet interpreters, and eventually what happens is as you become more proficient, it comes in the ears and off the hands. Now I've been doing this for so long as a coda that when I hear a sentence, my brain's gotten to the point now where it just grabs the right sign and goes. Do I make mistakes? Sure, all the time. Okay, all the time. But I keep getting better. The more expertise I have in an area, the more I know the speaker, the more I know the situation. All those things positively affect my brain to select the right sign. Okay, so as you get better, you're going to have that ability, hear it, sign it, hear it, sign it. But what's going on is the ability to hear a word, make sure it fits the sentence that's gone on, so the right sign selected. But at the same time, there's another part of that brain. I'm not sure how this works for coders, interpreters, or anybody else. You're hearing that next sentence. It's holding it in a parking lot. As you then pull out the right sign, you then feed it, and it kind of lags behind. So somewhere for every great interpreter, there's signing instantly, and there's a lag that's too much for your brain to hold in. Somewhere in the middle is that sweet spot where you're making sure you're faithfully communicating, it's coming in, you're picking the right sign, you're adding the right facial expression, the right body position, the right intensity. Wow, it's challenging to be an interpreter. That's why I think the ability to select the right sign while still hearing more and more of those sentences is one of the hardest, most important, most valuable skills you can have as an ASL interpreter.